My dad publicly mocked my career in a golf club, then my massive client shattered his ego. The club was the kind of place where everything gleamed and nobody said anything direct. Wood panels, pressed collars, conversations that were really negotiations wearing a blazer. My dad had been a member for 20 years. His whole identity lived in those Tuesday lunches. My brother had followed the approved path. Law degree, firm, corner office, the whole architecture. Every family dinner ended with my dad running through his career like a highlight reel. My brother would nod, modest and practiced. I'd sit across from them and say very little because I'd learned early that what I did didn't translate into language my dad respected. I'd built a logistics consultancy from a spare room and a laptop 7 years ago. We now moved supply chain infrastructure for mid-market manufacturers across 4 regions. But my dad heard consultancy and pictured someone with a whiteboard and no real clients. So I stopped explaining. I just worked. At the club's quarterly dinner, my dad spotted me talking to a man near the bar and materialized beside me almost immediately. Territorial in the way people are when they're worried about the story getting away from them. He clapped my shoulder and said to the man, "This is my other son, Eli. He does some consulting work, odds and ends, keeps himself busy." The man smiled politely. My jaw didn't move. Later I found a quiet corner of the terrace and looked out at the manicured dark and felt something settle in my chest. Not anger exactly, more like clarity. The kind that stops feeling like hurt and starts feeling like information. Then it got worse at dinner. His table included a regional bank director, 2 commercial property investors, and a man who ran a manufacturing group I recognized immediately because we had restructured their entire inbound logistics 2 years ago and saved them roughly $900,000 in annual overhead. My dad gestured toward me from across the table. "My youngest does freelance work. Good for flexibility if you don't mind the uncertainty," he said, and people smiled the polite smile of people who have already moved on. The manufacturing man looked at me, paused, set his fork down. "I'm sorry," he said carefully. "Are you Eli Marsh? From Marchline Consulting?" The table went quiet in the particular way tables go quiet when someone realizes they've misjudged the room. I said yes. He pushed back slightly in his chair and turned toward my dad with an expression I will remember for a long time. "Your son's firm redesigned our entire distribution framework. We were bleeding money and he fixed it." He looked back at me. "I've recommended you to 3 other groups since then." My dad's hand went still on his glass. The bank director leaned forward. "Marchline, I know that name. You worked with Carlyle Group. We restructured their Eastern Corridor." "Yes," I said. I didn't perform anything. I didn't raise my voice or look at my dad. I just answered questions honestly while the table recalibrated around me in real time. Afterward my dad found me near the coat check. His posture had changed. Something in the set of his shoulders. "Why didn't you tell me it had gotten that big?" he asked, quietly. I looked at him for a moment. "I tried," I said. "You kept introducing me before I could finish the sentence." He didn't have an answer for that. Some truths don't leave room for one. My brother called the next morning. He sounded more tired than smug, which was new. "Dad's been on the phone all morning," he said. "Apparently he told 3 people at breakfast that his son runs a regional consultancy. He said it like you were always the plan." I laughed, not bitterly, just genuinely, at the absurdity of it. At the next family dinner, my dad introduced me differently. Careful, deliberate, like a man reading from revised notes. He said the name of the firm correctly for the first time. He said what we actually did. He didn't editorialize. It wasn't an apology, but it was something. The shape of a man adjusting to a truth he should have made space for years earlier. I didn't need the applause from that club dinner. I had the contracts. I had the work. I had 7 years of early mornings that didn't require his approval to count. The best part wasn't being recognized in front of him. It was realizing I'd stopped needing it.